Okay, here we go.
Yes. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Stephanie.
How are you doing?
I'm really good. I'm hanging out at Lake Siskiyou with Mount Shasta in the background.
That is such an amazing background.
I,
How does it feel to be there?
I know it's amazing. Like we just had this beautiful rain last night, and so the air is really fresh and it feels real clean, and the energy just it feels so alive. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Berlin in Germany, and the moment I saw that picture, your background is like it feels like such a different energy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's really I feel so grateful to share, to be here and just to provide provide this as as an inspiration.
It definitely is. So yeah, let's start with a few intros so people can get to know us. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Sure. Yeah, okay. My name's Jennifer, and I live here in Mount Shasta, California. Um, and I'm a personal self-discovery coach. I help people discover patterns, conditions that are going on inside of themselves that may be inhibiting them to be operating at their fullest potential or tapping into actually who they really are. And a lot of the work I do is through nature. I've been going out into nature ever since I was a little girl. It was always like my sanctuary. Um, my mom would have to call me in at the wee darks of the night because I never wanted to come inside. I just always wanted to be outside in nature, running around barefoot, wild hair, crazy, just she's always been my friend. I've always had tree friends and animal friends, birds, plants, flowers. I just love. Oh my gosh, there's this beautiful flute music in the background. I did not plan that. I don't know if you can hear it, but
You have a professional musician there.
yes, she's just over here playing the flute. Like this is what happens in Mount Shasta, the energy of this
Thank
place.
you.
Yes. Uh
Well,
yeah,
but Jennifer, that's so fascinating. I wanted to ask you because usually we tend to separate, like, oh, one thing is nature, another thing is doing coaching, and somehow it seems that you're bringing the two of them together. Can
we're
you tell us a little bit more? How does that work, and what do you see are the benefits of that?
yeah. Well, what I've discovered for myself, because I used to be very separated. Except for I feel like because I was when I was a little girl and then all through my life, I've always um, you know, gone into nature to like help ground myself, uh, bring myself back to me, just feel at peace. Um, but I don't think I was realizing that I was a part of nature. And so, over the years, I started realizing, wait a minute, I'm not separate from nature. I am of nature. And so I just know that how I feel in nature, and I feel that comfortableness, the peace, the serenity, um, that that's what she gives to me every time I go out into nature. And even like right now, if you could see, I mean, I can show you, but my feet, I'm barefoot.
Yes.
Uh, a lot of times I'm outside. I always want to take my shoes off because there is this element about how nature can actually ground us. It grounds our energy. And so anytime that we can put our feet on the earth or touch the earth, put our hand against a tree, hug a tree, smell a flower. We're literally grounding our energetic field down into the earth, which helps. Like a lot of times, what happens in the busyness of our world, we're like all up in our mental space. We're all up in here, and it's just there's a lot of like can be kind of chaotic. And so, as soon as we go out into nature, and especially like can touch, get our body, take our shoes off, get that connection, it literally brings our energy down into the earth and helps us ground. And it's from that place that we can really start unraveling patterns and conditions. So we have to like be in a place where we've allowed ourselves to slow down. And nature is just so amazing to help us slow down. Every single client I've ever worked with, um, as soon as I encourage them to go outside, go for a walk, get out in nature, and then we come back and they check in with me, or I'm going out with them and we're doing our coaching out in nature. Those, anytime a client experiences that, the quality of the sessions are so much different. They're deeper, they're slower, they're like the client has a lot more insights. It's just it's just it's just who we are. We are of nature, and she's here to help us in that way.
Oh, that's beautiful. And also what you're saying about the mind, because the mind tends to go to the past, right?
Or the
To
future.
repeat something,
Yeah.
or it's going into the future, and then we are feeling a lot of anxiety because of that. And sometimes about the past, we can feel some guilt and shame, but these are all feelings that are not really connected to the present moment, right? We
Mhm.
are in different places. So
Mhm.
the fact that we can ground in our bodies can really help us see what is present in the body at the present moment and what needs to be heard
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
present.
Yeah. And this is something that I love about you, Stephanie, is that like I know you've been practicing a lot of these embodiment things lately, a lot of things around the body. And so I'd love to hear a little bit about you and what you are up to.
Yeah, I will give a short intro. So, hi everyone, I'm Stephanie. I currently live in Berlin, in Germany, but I am originally from Argentina, but I've been traveling for the last 8 years, mostly in Europe, living in different countries, and also, yeah, starting a deep journey here. And what I have found very transformative in my life has been going to different retreats in different countries and in different special places in nature. But I think the magic, a big part of the magic of these retreats is being first that you are kind of like isolated from your usual environment. So you feel like you're in a safe space to do some work that maybe you have been postponing for a long time. And the second thing is that a big part of retreats is nature. And I think it can help us in so many different ways. Already going to the nature feels like you're unplugging yourself from your daily life, your worries, your anxiety, and that you can just be present and observe the beauty. Nature comes with this beauty or this feeling of awe that sometimes we forget about it. We are so busy with all the problems that we have today, or going out, or just running and running one thing after the other. And then all of a sudden, you can stand up in the front of a mountain and just be yourself and in that moment, you don't need a lot to be happy. You just need the fresh air, the mountain. In Mount Shasta, you can drink amazing quality of water as well. And then the body feels at ease and the nervous system is calm, and it's just so much easier to go into any kind of somatic work to release from the body. And being that said, I used to be terrified of emotions. I didn't learn how to regulate my emotions when I was a kid, and I was really terrified about feeling anything. So I always try to keep myself up here in the mind. And nature has been such a great ally to know that I can regulate my emotions. And since I learned that I can hug trees, it's such a simple practice, and it makes such a big difference. It is also, I think, really hard to explain. And my recommendation is that these kind of things, you need to live them. And I
Yeah.
think we are lucky enough that so far, I think a lot of people still have access to trees. So we can go and hug and just have the experience for yourself. It takes a couple of minutes, and it can start making a very deep difference in your life.
Yeah.
It's like meditating also, just in a different way.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And
Oh, I love hearing that. Yeah.
yeah. And Jennifer, as you're all very passionate about nature, as I can hear, and what are you passionate about your work with people, helping them with these transformations?
Yeah, that's a great question. I my favorite thing is like watching somebody like when they're like and they have that epiphany for themselves, or that aha moment. But even more so, like then there's the action that comes from that aha moment because we can always have aha moments, but then it's coming back to the choice. Okay, so once we know something, we're not going to unknow it. And this is, my through my experience and through my training. And the first step is awareness. We have to have the awareness. And so I love helping people get to that place of the awareness. But then not only that is like, great, okay, I have this awareness. Now what? So the now what? It's like I love helping people, tap into different tools and skills, that they can start using. Because for me, one of my most beneficial tools that I use is breath. And, it's like just a simple breath, like a conscious breath, which we could even say mindful breath. So just being present, bringing presence into your breathing can switch things, and it literally switches the chemistry in our brain. And so, again, through breath and nature, we can really make these changes. And that's one thing that I love seeing with my clients too, is that when we start adding with the awareness, we add in these tools and then the consistency with the practice. Because the one thing I always love to tell my clients is that we don't ever know like when things are going to like make the switch. It's almost like you're trusting in something that's so unknown that it's like it's not like you can take a pill and then feel better the next day. It's literally, this is an ongoing process. And to me, it's that ongoing process and witnessing yourself or like my clients, witnessing them make these changes is, oh my God, I love it. And then also the other thing about that I love is helping my clients see the changes that they're making. Because a lot of times in our culture and society, we don't take that time to reflect. We don't take that time to celebrate. We don't take the time to acknowledge. And this is part of the journey is is really acknowledging the changes that we have done, because it's not like I'm doing it for the client. I can't do it for the client. All I can do is provide the space, the container, that safety, the non-judgmental safe container. And then it's up to you how you're going to dance inside that container. It's like up to the client. Okay, how what are you going to do? Like, let's see. And when they really like take it on and they start making these changes in how they're living and showing up for themselves, oh, that just makes my heart burst open. Oh my God, I love it so much. I just love it. And then to celebrate that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I think you put it in a very clear way. I was thinking like right now everyone talks so much about embodiment, that we need to embody the change. And sometimes it's hard to grasp this concept, but you put it in a very nice, clear way. Then very slowly we start changing what we do, and very slowly we also start becoming a different person, right? And then we start getting different results. And it sounds like a very organic process.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's just like how you like just shared, okay, I didn't know how to regulate my emotions, and I was afraid to feel my emotions and I didn't know how to do that. And now where are you at with emotions?
Oh, I'm a huge fan of emotions. I'm a huge fan of somatic practices, especially these workshops where we can go and release. Like it might sound a little bit silly, but punching a pillow, shaking, when you start doing these things, also you start getting some insights that maybe were there but repressed. Because this is very interesting. Like for me, sometimes some insights only come when I start moving my body. Then I
Yes.
can acknowledge what was really bothering me or what was in my mind, but not the other way around. It's not that first I think and then I go, no, it's first go to the body, move, shake, see what's in there. And then my mind starts understanding, or I can get an insight. I know what I want to do next. And sometimes it's just the release. That's already everything that needs to happen sometimes, and it's still beautiful. Um, so yeah, it's powerful, and nature helps a lot. And also being in
Yes.
a safe container with a
Yeah.
teacher or a facilitator that is creating a safe, non-judgmental space for you to be yourself, be
Yeah.
authentic, and show what's going on within you.
And so this is so beautiful, Stephanie, that like again, it's like taking a moment to acknowledge your journey. That you came from a place where you weren't comfortable experiencing your own emotions. And that's something that's inside of you. And so it's like you were not comfortable with something that was inside of you, that was a part of you. And then through your journey and your practices and going to retreats, and I know you journal and do ceremonies and meditate and dance, and so it's like you're doing the skills and the tools, these elements, and look now where you're at. You're like,
Yeah,
I love them.
I'm facilitating
I'm
so
like,
other people
yes.
can
So,
do it too.
I mean, yay.
It's beautiful work, and also as you were talking, it's really also a very important part to accept ourselves fully.
Yes.
Because that's also part of our authenticity. And I had a lot of issues accepting my rage, my anger, my sadness. Like in today's society, I don't know, I was feeling this pressure all the time that I had to be smiling and happy and enjoying life, and I was repressing a big part of myself.
Right. So that's
So
was that smile at that time authentic?
no, a lot of times it was not. And I was not really accepting the truth of what was going on inside of me. And first accepting and acknowledging, and then the next challenge, expressing it and letting the voice out.
Hmm.
It's a process and it takes time. But yeah, I feel life is becoming more and more fulfilling and more authentic, and it feels better to myself the more that I can do this process over
Yeah.
and over again. And
Yes.
sometimes it's really challenging.
Part like okay, so okay, caveat, sometimes it's still really challenging, and that's okay. That's okay. It's I feel like it's good to acknowledge that too, because it's not always joy, bliss, I'm butterflies like on your shoulder and rainbows, I mean, sometimes it is the tears, the snot coming out of your nose, the yells, the screams, the hitting the pillows, whatever it takes to like get it out. Just recently I was moving through something that was very old, like really hidden in the cupboards. And I went out to one of my spots that I love to go to here in Mount Shasta by the river. And I went there to go access it. And it was challenging to access to allow myself to express it. And I started with the voice. And I was at the river and I'm standing by the side of the river and I'm like, ah, and I was like, well, that was fake, and then I'm like, ah, and I was like, come on, let's like, like I can access this, so then I just started moving my body like in like a little wave motion. And then all of a sudden the throat opened up and authentically out came the and it was just like this. Even there you can hear the different quality, like it was accessed down in my belly. And then came the tears, and I had snot coming out of my nose and I started throwing rocks, and it's just like anything to get to move it. There was no story with it. It's just something that was like locked in my body that needed to come out. And it afterwards, I gave thanks to the water, to the river, because the one thing about it is that I love about nature is she can handle the range of our emotions. So, you know, she can handle the rage. If you're going to go out and throw some rocks and yell and stomp and cry and, whatever it is you need to move your body, she can handle it. And that's what I got to experience. And then afterwards, just being so grateful and so thankful. And then I felt so peaceful inside of myself. And the other thing is there was no judgment on my end. I wasn't like criticizing myself for like feeling those emotions or experiencing that, and it was just something in life that it triggered something inside of myself that was old. And so actually whatever it was that happened to, I don't even remember what it was now, it's not important, but whatever that was that happened was actually for me to help me be able to release so I could be more free. And that's what happened. So this is the cool thing about nature is she can handle that, and then she's there to like help us feel that freedom. Because then I got to go play, you know?
That's beautiful. And you also said this word that for me is very important, freedom.
Yeah.
like that in nature you can feel this freedom for that you can be yourself and express yourself without any fear of judgment. And that's like another big benefit
Yeah. Yeah.
of it.
Um,
Wow, it
I'm
sounds amazing. And also, Jennifer, I want to say you're in a very special place of nature. Would you
yes.
like to tell us a little bit more about Mount Shasta?
That's so funny because I was just going to ask you about you coming to Mount Shasta when you came. Um, I would love to hear that because yes, I'm here in Mount Shasta and it is such a special place. There's like what you were saying is there's beautiful clean water. Like the water comes right out of the mountain and we go there and dip our water bottles in and drink it right from the earth. And this place just has a lot of magic. The air quality is so pure. There's up on the mountain, up when you go up in there, there's like she commands a silence, a peace inside of us. So she really helps accentuate that silence, that peacefulness that we have inside of us. Um, she also can rock your world. You
You can tell us more about that later. But yeah, I
Yeah,
would also love to mention a little bit about how
yeah.
we got to
How we
know each
how
other.
you met, how you came here. Like that was such a great, and then your experience. I want to hear like really what your experience of it was.
Yeah, that's already a magical story because for some reason I was a little bit stuck in life and asking for guidance. What should I do next? I'm not so sure. And then, yes, I think I decided to, well, I decided to go to this experience like Awaken. It's also another transformational experience. It was a conference happening in Texas, in Austin. So I had that booked, and then I was not sure about going. And then I was like, maybe I should go to LA. I always wanted to go to LA. And I was like, okay, fine, I will get a ticket. But nothing had I was still not fully understanding it. And then someone mentioned Manchester to me, and that someone tells me, if you're in California, you have to go there. It's the root chakra of the planet. And I really like traveling to sacred places or places that hold a different energy. Like when you're there, you can really feel it. So I was like, okay, now things are starting to make sense. But then I have this issue. I don't drive. And I was like, how on earth am I going to get to Mount Shasta from Austin, Texas, without driving? I was completely, there is no way I can make this happen. And then because of the conference, I decided to ask the people from the community that were also going if anyone had any information about Mount Shasta, how to get there. And that's how I met Jennifer, that was also going to the conference. And yeah, she was so kind to invite me to go after the conference with her and also yeah, host me. And on top of that, you were such an amazing guide, Jennifer, and I could see your love and respect for nature. And yeah, we had a very magical time together. um, and recently, like a couple of days ago, I was watching the videos and the pictures of myself there.
Mhm.
And the way I look, I was like, wow, I look so happy, so energized, and also so connected to my feminine energy that I was like, I could not recognize myself almost. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, who's this person? Like, where
Yeah.
is this energy she has coming from? But I think just being there put me in a very nice feminine energy. And I was also recording these videos that I was really speaking my truth and being very authentic and wild. And yeah, it was a really beautiful experience and very grounding as well because I came back from the mountain with more direction and more strength to move forward towards my dreams. Yeah, I think some deep releases as well happened. But the interesting thing is that it's not that went to a retreat in Mount Shasta or were putting a lot of work to make that happen. Okay, we did a few ceremonies, we went to nature, but I think just being there was really supportive. And it's really hard to explain to people because it's the kind of things that you feel. So it's hard to translate into
Yeah,
words.
it is. It's interesting. Do you remember when you were here? Just like, I mean, how inspired both of us were. It was like there was so much like inspiration, that kind of like muse energy that was kind
Yes, I had a lot of sessions with clients. I built a website. Yes, I felt very creative and I really wanted to do things. Yeah, and I felt very confident as well. Um, yeah, there was something, and let's say it was winter. It was
well,
so
I
yeah.
remember too the day. Okay, so here when Stephanie came, it was winter. All right. And like that means that you can't really like get up on the mountain and go hiking and stuff like that. I mean, we're talking there were feet of snow. And before she got here, they had closed the highway, the Everett Memorial Highway, which takes you up to one of the places that you can go and at least get closer to the mountain. That gate had been closed because we had a big snowstorm and they didn't plow the roads. And just by chance, one day, I said to Stephanie, we ought to just at least go up to where that gate is closed. And and then it was so weird because you know how life is, it's like we're at the house, it's cold, we're both in our groove doing things, and the mornings get going by, and then we kind of get into like the early part of the afternoon, and all of a sudden, it's just like we were both at this place where our time freed up and we're like, let's go. And I kid you not, we go and the gate is opened and they had just opened the gate. And so Stephanie got to experience going up to Bunny Flat with only like five other cars. And that like
Amazing.
that does not happen. That was like I felt like when you were here, Mount Shasta just said, "Welcome home, Stephanie."
I felt very at home. And the other crazy thing for me was drinking the water from there because I was drinking and then having chills on my body. I could feel electricity in my body. Like, yeah, there is some magic in that water. And a few months ago, I was dreaming about the mountain and I was dreaming, like, oh, I need to drink that water again. And that is how we got to talk again. We've been in touch ever since. But yeah, somehow that ended up in a beautiful co-creation that we are doing soon.
What are
Um,
we doing, Stephanie?
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
So, yeah, I would say inspired by our own personal journeys, we want to, yeah, offer to other women some of the practices that have been supporting us in this transformation. Um, so we want to get wild. We want to create a space where we can feel authentic. We want to have a safe container to release emotions and to really connect with ourselves. And usually what I find is that after like descending into the body and releasing emotions, that there are like new dreams and visions or projects that emerge, which I think it's also really nice. Like because it's not that we go into the body to feel bad and feel sad and feel these emotions and that's it. Every time we descend, then we ascend. And a lot of times there's a new level of joy and happiness and pleasure and creativity. So yeah, I think I would love to give other people a sense of that and that other women can also enjoy the feminine magic of Mount Shasta. How
Yeah.
would you describe it, Jennifer?
Yeah, well, I will say that what ended up happening is Stephanie and I just decided to, well, you were really wanting to come back, and I kept saying, just come, just come, just come. And then from there we just said, let's invite other women, let's have a retreat. Let's like have other people be able to experience what it is we've been experiencing, and then help, support women, do some of this, like this deeper work that they're craving, just to have that time and space to themselves, and to be in nature, to be in a beautiful place, but to also be safe, and I feel like that's what you and I have co-created by offering this retreat that we're putting on together. And I'm just like, I'm so excited about it, and so excited to be working with you on this level.
Yes, and we have a beautiful journey. I think we will work with the heart, with the womb, and with the voice,
Yeah,
so we can release and discover also new layers about ourselves. Remember things about ourselves, but also start practicing speaking up and being seen by others.
yeah,
Um, which, yeah, especially as women, I think it's really nice that we can get together and share our stories and feel held by other women.
yeah.
There's some magic that happens there, and I cannot imagine a better place than Mount Shasta to do this work, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. There's something very magical here, and for real, there's something very magical here. And so I'm I'm just beyond excited about offering the retreat that you and I are putting on. And I feel like what you said, we've got like a great container of ceremonies, and then teaching some tools, but also being out in nature, and just that time to really be with yourself, be with who you are, given time to dream, to release, dream some more. Uh, and then, of course, being in that support of sisterhood, and there's just nothing like it.
Yes, I agree. And also, I think something very special is that we are going to be camping, and this is a very intentional decision to be closer to
Yeah.
nature. And I
Yeah.
have to say, it really takes me outside of my comfort zone. I'm the kind of girl that can only put together a tent if it's this one of these 3-second tents that come. But also, it's good to challenge ourselves, right? And um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I always say, for me, camping, well, so I lived over in Maui for many years, and a lot of the places that I lived were actual screen dwellings. And so it was very close to nature, like my bed and a screen and nature. And of course, like had some nice roofing, but this this closeness to nature did something uh, to my nervous system. It really helped to slow me down, to just realize that I'm safe in nature. It's like when I first was, because I was a city girl, came from the city, but always nature girl at heart, but I grew up in Kansas City, lived in Austin, Portland, San Diego, but I always craved the nature, always found little nooks and crannies. But it was when my time in Maui that really switched things up for me. And I touched that wild part of myself from when I was a little girl, and just it never went away. Like now that wild part of myself is so alive. And so have lived in places like that are way more that are way closer to nature than being in the city, because my nervous system craves that. And so this is the beautiful thing that camping can offer is like we're just going to take some time to be close to nature. And again, we're doing it in a safe container because I have a friend who has this beautiful farm land right in the heart of Mount Shasta. It's amazing. Um, he has I'm not sure how much, but this beautiful grass area with a big sequoia tree right in the middle that we can go up in underneath the sequoia tree. The branches come all the way down to the ground, but the inside is like open. And so we'll do like all of our tea ceremonies in there, just being up inside that tree. And we're going to camp around on his property there. And he's got bathroom, showers. We're going to be able to cook outside. We're just really going to be able to like be in nature, but also be in a safe place for, like Stephanie, like for you, also, and for whoever else, wants to join us. This is such a great way to realize like, hey, I'm okay. I'm okay being out here.
Sounds amazing. I'm counting the days.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, Jennifer. I think, yeah, this has been such a great and inspiring conversation. And thank you for sharing your passion for the work that you're doing for Mount Shasta. And yeah, sharing it with other women like me who, yes, I can completely share with everyone like the benefits of being there and also of working with you. So yes, I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm very happy that we can extend this invitation. Um,
I know I'm
yes,
I'm really looking forward to like what you're bringing because we've talked a little bit, but I'm so excited about um like the level of presence that you held, because we did a cacao ceremony when you were here over the solstice, the winter solstice for North America. And it was so beautiful and profound and very deep. I love that medicine and so heart opening and the way you held that space. I'm so looking forward to being in that ceremonial space with you again. And you're also bringing a new thing that I'm very excited about that we didn't get to experience when you came to visit the first time, and this is the womb, um
the
the
ritual,
yeah,
yeah.
the womb ritual. And I'm really looking forward to that, to experiencing that. And of course, I don't know if there's anything you want to share about that, but
It's the kind of things that you need to leave, but yeah, doing work with the womb has been very transformative for me. And we tend to store a lot of things in the womb, like pain, rage, fear, anger. And the womb is a place of creation. Um, so basically, the more work we can do to cleanse it, to purify it, then we will also have a space to plant new seeds and give life to new dreams and projects. So I feel it's very important. And the womb also speaks in a way. So the womb is very connected to the throat chakra. So the more we work with the womb, then more truth can come out of us. And I think we are living in a world that needs more truth and more people that dare to speak up today. So, of course, this work has a lot of benefits on an individual level, but I can also see it will have benefits on a collective level. So
Yeah.
we can start, yeah, getting together with people, talking, building different experiences, protecting more nature, creating new solutions to the problems that we are facing. And I think we can create change as long as we stand in our power. And to
Hmm.
stand in our power, we need to be in the present moment. We want to be regulated, we want to be grounded, and it can be very tough with the way we live today. So, having these spaces where we can go back to ourselves, feel, and then have new visions, new ideas, and become stronger and more confident and powerful. It's a privilege. It's such a blessing to do this work. But
Mm.
it's for us, but it's also for our families, our communities, for nature. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has a very deep ripple effect.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. Yeah. So,
Me too.
um, this is an invitation, you know.
Yeah.
So if this is something that is calling to you, please reach out. You can make a call with us, and we're happy to answer any questions. Or if you've got questions, please send them to us. We'll answer anything that we can, and come play with us in Mount Shasta in nature.
Yes. Yeah, thank you everyone for listening. It's yeah, yeah, and whoever feels the call, please just yeah, get in touch. Even if you just want to talk more about Mount Shasta, even if it's not about the retreat, we are open for any conversation or questions that you may have. So yeah, Jennifer, and thank you so much for inspiring us with that beautiful view and also your story.
Can you see how the snow is up on the very tippy top? Can you
Yeah.
see that? Yeah, so that's from the rainstorm yesterday we had down in town. So the very top of Mount Shasta got this beautiful dusting of snow, and I don't know, it just feels really special to to have that happen in July. I know we're just at the beginning of July, but it's just that's magic right there.
Oh, magic is waiting for all of us. Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. Then have a beautiful rest of your day.
You too. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Stephanie. Bye. Okay, let's see.